This is KUGAN CASSIUS Rifle TV in association with MTK Global, joined by Eddie Hearn. All right?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Are you having a fight?
Possibly.
With Heavy D?
Possibly.
Is that on this YouTube fight thing?
No.
Right.
No.
It would be for charity.
100%.
You're all about charity.
This is for charity.
Has there been financial offers then? Like, was it something to consider? Like, it not being for charity?
To be honest with you, I'm not really at
You
will.
don't want it though, do you?
What?
Do you want it? You don't want it, do you? You don't want this work. You don't, do you?
What, you're promoting Heavy D now?
No, but I'm seeing Heavy D, like, he's calling you out. He's
calling me out.
He's making a complete bitch of you, right? And you ain't biting. You don't even seem bothered. I'm talking to you about it now. You're like, yeah, you know, I'm doing it for you. You don't want this work off that geezer.
I'm one of these fighters that needs a date. Before I can really get into it.
Yeah,
So
a lot of them are like that, yeah. What is his beef? What is the beef? What, like, it's fake beef, obviously.
It's what like
Is
one
it IFL fake beef?
It's one of your matchroom beefs,
Is it?
basically.
Yeah.
You know, when you sign fighters just because it's got good banter.
Yeah,
you know, it's
that's
one of
important.
them. It's
But you've got absolutely no banter, and you've got no fighting spunk in you, have you? Like, you got to either step up or just say, you know.
Don't worry about me. There's a lot more we can talk about other than my proposed fight with Heavy D. So
Okay.
you don't worry about
I thought it'd be a good place to start.
Okay. Right. Let's start with.
So much to talk
I
about.
know. We're going to start with Haye Bellew. As I understand, when the rumour came out about David Haye being injured, he wasn't injured then.
Correct. There's a lot of people who are trying to take the credit for breaking that story. So the situation with that is, we were in New York, and we're about an hour away from our show starting, first show, and I think it was the Boxing Voice broke it and said a source in the Haye camp says he's injured and probably out of the fight. So obviously, there's always rumours around big fights, but there's always a concern. So I text Nicole and I text David Haye and said, just seen this. And they replied and said, absolutely not true, he's fine, tip top, he'll be there December 17th, no problem. So I was like, okay, fair enough. So then Wednesday of that week, he had a shoot scheduled with Sky to go for a proper training, you know, promo shoot, everything. So I thought, that's good news. Like, at least we'll find out if he is injured or not. So he turns up. Adam Smith was there. Johnny Nelson was there to do a training session with him. All the Sky boys. He does an hour and a half, full training session, sprints, bag, circuits, everything. Speak to Johnny Nelson. Adam spoke to Johnny Nelson. He ain't injured in the slightest. So it was like, thank God for that. Phone Tony. Said, great news. Haye ain't injured. In fact, Haye looked excellent. So then I get a text from David Friday saying, are you in town? It's quite strange. He doesn't really text me that much. And I said, no, I'm not. He said, I need to see you face to face. And when you get that sort of text as a promoter, it's never good news, you know. So I tried to speak to him and I couldn't speak to him. He just said, look, I'll drive to you. This was at 11 o'clock at night. And I said, look, I'll call you. So I called him, didn't pick up. So then I said, look, let's speak. So I'll see you. So I said, look, meet me in my office, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So he goes, okay. So obviously that night, I'm in bed thinking, what the fuck? He has to be injured. But I don't know, maybe he wants to talk about if he wins fighting Joshua. I don't know. I was just, you know, my head was racing. So came into this office out there and he was already here. By the time I got here, walked in, I said to him, how you doing? And he went, not good. And he looked absolutely devastated. I've never seen him look like that before. He's a very confident, you know, he looks $1 million. He looked devastated. And he explained what happened. He said, I'm telling you, I've never been fitter. My Achilles, 1,000,000%, this, that. He said, I was doing my stair sprints up this tower block that I've been doing the whole camp for my Achilles. On the way down, slipped, grabbed hold of the side. Looks like I've torn my bicep. Looks like I'm going to have an operation, blah, 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 blah. Left bicep was like this. I was like, fuck. So anyway, then obviously over the weekend, gets it confirmed. You've got to have an operation, biceps torn, he's out. And then Monday, we made the announcement. Just like we always talk about boxing. It's the greatest highs and it's the biggest lows. It's a complete kick in the nuts. You know, for Haye and Bellew, most importantly, for us, the fans, for Sky, you know, for everybody, for you. But it's boxing, and you know, David's had a lot of injuries in his career, and he still has the desire to come back. And to be honest, the recuperation and the rehab that he's done on his Achilles has been sensational. Like, he's done everything perfect. He's followed the exact orders of his physio. He's worked harder than ever. So I felt for him, you know. I mean, I'm not saying we're the greatest friends in the world, but I did feel for him, you know, and he wanted to tell me face to face. And it was a big kick in the nuts. Obviously, I phoned Tony, told him. He went absolutely nuts. What people don't realise about Tony Bellew in this camp is that at the start of this camp, or just before the start of this camp, Tony lost his brother-in-law. I think he was early 30s, couple of kids, all a very, very, very close family. And, you know, this young man is his wife's brother. And how he picked himself up to start camp, I'll never know. And he was travelling from Liverpool to Sheffield to train with Dave Coldwell and coming back, because normally he would spend the week there, you know, but because of the situation, he was coming back to be with his missus, and pretty much everybody told him to pull out of the fight. This was early on, but he wanted to go through with the fight, and how he's managed it, I'll never know. So to get 4 or 5 weeks on further down the line, having gone through all this and still dealing with it, and had a bit of a virus too, to be honest with you, but you know, and to come out the other side, that was the bigger blow to him. You know, what he's been through to get himself in a position to fight. And when I gave him the news, it was just like his world just came crumbling down. So it was a very hard phone call to make. And now we pick up the pieces. You know, we handle the contractual situation, which is we have to look at rescheduling the fight, when that's going to be, if there's going to be an interim fight. You know, it's not just a case of finding someone else on December 17. You know, we have contractual issues we have to deal with Haye as well. And after the news for Bellew and after everything he'd been with, to fight on December 17 just wasn't an option, to be honest with you. So it's been an interesting few days. And now I had a meeting with Adam Morley from Haye's team today, looking at when he'll be back, if we go straight into the fight in the spring, if we look at another fight in between. Lots to discuss, but will be hopefully finalised over the next week.
Given that David Haye had obviously suffered that injury in the first fight, when you were going through the negotiations for this fight, did you think of I know it's a completely different situation, but a Joshua type situation for Bellew?
Yeah, not really, because you hit the nail on the head. It was a completely different situation. And Joshua is a pay-per-view fighter against everybody, and Tony is not. So you can't, you know, the only person that we could have looked at really in terms of who Tony wants to fight at this stage in his career, might say Joseph Parker, for example. Joseph Parker's not going to sit there as a reserve or a stand-in and, you know, wait for the call 3 weeks out. He's world champion. You know, I mean, Dylan's been calling out Tony and stuff like that. Dylan's not really a fight that Tony's interested in. That's being brutally honest. Is it a fight he might look at in the new year? Maybe. But his ultimate game is to have the biggest fights possible left in his career. He has 1 or 2 fights left in his career. That's what I think with Tony. So he wants to fight Haye. Parker's definitely an option. You know, Fury's calling him out. Could Dillian be an option? Maybe. It's certainly not on Tony's radar. But with everything he's been through, and more importantly, the contractual situation, December 17th wasn't an option, and most people know that. But you know, it's now a case of planning a fight for the spring.
Every time David Haye's been in this situation before, where he's had to pull out the fight due to injury, it's always been a case of, you know, is the fight actually going to happen? So people will question whether this fight will actually
That's a concern
happen.
for us as well.
Yeah.
And we have to take that into consideration. And, you know, Tony doesn't want to wait, but David has to give himself the opportunity to recover fully. So, again, the decision now for Tony is, you know, do you take the fight, do you rush Haye through to box him in March, or do you wait until May, or do you have an interim fight? Or, you know, there's lots to think about. But like I said, Tony has got 1, 2, maybe 3 fights left in his career. So everyone counts, do you know what I mean? And he just wants the biggest fight that is out there for him. And that fight was David Haye. Whether that's still David Haye, or whether that's Joseph Parker, or whether that's Tyson Fury, you know, is there to be discussed. But he wants to fight Haye. People want to see that fight. And I believe Haye will get back to fitness. I see desire from David Haye. And because if not, you just jack it in, wouldn't you? I mean, you've just snapped your Achilles in the fight. Now you've got this freak injury where you've torn your bicep. Wouldn't you just go, oh, fuck, I'm done, mate. That's not in him. You know, he does genuinely want to come back. And we know he loves a pound note. But I honestly believe he wants to come back and win. And I think that will drive him on. And I do expect him to see him in the ring again.
So as soon as that news came, there was never any talk about Bellew fighting on that day whatsoever?
No. It wasn't even, because everything he'd been through, and that news as well, it wasn't, I mean, I think he might have said to me, do you think you can get Parker? And I might have said to old Nutty Bollocks, you know, do you fancy Bellew? Because we're talking about that fight for the spring anyway. Do you know what I mean? That's a fight that's being discussed, Bellew Parker. But like, I spoke to Dave Cole, his head was all over the place, mate. I mean, for everything that he'd been through with his family, then to get this news, he was a mess for a couple of days, Tony. And you know, he's going to use this time to be with his family, have Christmas with them, stay in the gym, and then let us plan what's next.
The undercard was obviously split between you and
another ball ache.
David Haye. The fighters that you had from your side, is it the plan to put them on another card?
I don't know. I mean, we're working that out at the moment. And some will feature, some may wait. I mean, the smaller fights are a lot easier to schedule. Do you know what I mean? Like Rocky versus Skoglund is a very, like, there's nowhere to put that fight in December. So I'd rather, you know, it's tough for us to do another show. Sky don't really want another show. You've got the darts running on main event. You know, it's a big time for that. We've got our show on Wednesday, the December 13th. How many can we get on there? I mean, not being funny, this card at York Hall on December the 13th is going to be unbelievable. You've got Katie Taylor in a world title fight, Martin Ward for the European title, Jake Ball against Shinkwin. Now you may have Josh Kelly, Conor Benn. We made, as well, I don't think anyone knows this, the day or 2 days before the injury, we made Lewis Ritson against Tommy Coyle for the British lightweight title. That was going on the Haye Bellew card as well. But we hadn't announced because we'd found this out and we were supposed to announce on, I think, the Friday. Then we were going to announce on the Monday, and then obviously this broke. So there's another fight we've got to get scheduled somehow or the other. So it's a real ball ache. And Haye's got Joe Joyce, Willie Hutchinson, Michael Venom Page to schedule as well. So it's a nightmare scenario. And now we've got to just make sure that the fight, especially the ones that haven't boxed for a long time, get out. The others are rescheduled. Everyone knows what they're doing. And that is the priority at the moment for us, to make sure that the fighters involved in that card know what they're doing and where they're going.
Will December 13th be your last show of the year?
Possibly. Quite possibly. I mean, we're talking about starting at 5 and running till midnight. with like 14 fights on that card. It's a shame that we're in the York Hall. It's going to be a night, I believe, will be a legendary night at York Hall. But we could be in the O2, but it's not ideal. You know, obviously we were going on a Sunday night at the O2 for the pay-per-view. Could have switched it to there, but it doesn't really make sense. It's nothing's ideal about the situation at all. And you just got to deal with it, get on with it, make sure the fighters are looked after, make sure Tony Bellew's looked after, and deal with one of the down points of boxing that sometimes happens.
So you're saying it's unlikely that that weekend it will feature anything from yourselves, or
there may be a show on the 16th, of December.
right?
But in an ideal world, it would make sense to try and get as many as we can on that York Hall card.
Ticket refund policy for Haye Bellew. Talk to me.
There's no refunds. No. There is refunds, of course there is. Everybody can get a refund who's bought a ticket. Or you can wait for the rescheduled date and keep your ticket. And for every fan who's lost a hotel room, I don't know, 3 days before the fight, we put down about 60 grand's worth of bookings for hotel rooms for that show. And the venue cost. And it's a complete nightmare all round. But yeah, refunds obviously for everyone, or wait for the new date and go to that one instead.
I mean, you've always said, until, like I said, when fights are being rumoured to happen and venues are being rumoured to happen, don't obviously book anything until it's confirmed by yourselves. But when it does happen, it is a little bit still of a risk. Yeah.
Well, that's boxer, but when was the last time that a show actually was cancelled? From our side, people said, well, just run the show anyway. We've got hope, but keep the undercard. But then you've got a system of, you've got to refund all the tickets, because you can't have a system where you've paid for Haye Bellew and now you're just getting the undercard fights. And then, so you've got to refund the whole system and then resell the new ticket. It's a mess. It's a real mess. But like all events, I don't know, another example, Adele at Wembley. What did she cancel? 3 nights? 2 nights? 3 nights? With 80, 90,000 people? It's unfortunately, live events do get cancelled. Usually for us, to be honest with you, but there's not a lot we can do.
Gut feeling, will it happen? Will the rematch take place?
Yeah, I believe it will.
I've seen 2 dates being mentioned, like March.
Yeah, the 2 dates are March 24th and May the 5th. So, can he make March the 24th? I believe he can, but it is a bit tight. And I don't think we're in a position, really, to rush this back for the sake of 4 or 5 weeks. But the major concern is Tony wants to fight. Do you know what I mean? Tony doesn't want to wait and then get to March or April and then Haye's out. Do you know what I mean? So he must box early May at the latest, Tony Bellew.
Okay. So, moving on from Haye Bellew, last night, around 11:30, Duco Events, Duco Boxing, live streamed the press conference.
Was that a press conference?
It was billed as a press conference, yeah.
Builders one.
Quite bizarrely, I mean...
It was mental.
I don't know if people have seen the press release, but that was bizarre in itself. It was...
Yeah, I didn't see the video at the time last night, but someone sent me the press release saying exclusive footage of Anthony Joshua getting dropped or something like that, and proving why Parker beats Joshua. I'm thinking, blimey, well, what have they got here? I know that Higgins and Duco have had a load of abuse today, like about the presser, but I don't mind it. I mean, look, they're working with what they've got. They're not a big promotional company. They're holed up there in New Zealand, but they're trying to make noise. I mean, that David Higgins phones up the journos in the UK like every day, but it's just, he texted me today something bizarre, and I just said to him, mate, you're off your Swede. I said, you are on another level, you are. But, it was that bad, people were talking about it, weren't they? Do you know what I mean? So I don't mind what he's doing, really. I mean, but what you can't do is, you can't have a press conference in a broom cupboard and put a promotional video that looks like it's done by my 8-year-old daughter out and expect that to be an example of your commercial worth. Because anyone that watched that video was like, how could you possibly give this guy 35% of the Anthony Joshua pie? So, but I don't think it's Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker's standing there like, you see him in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt with his belt. I think they've just gone, Joe, get down the office, mate. You've got to come down here. What are we doing, Dave? Oh, mate, we've got this great little idea, right? We're going to come down, we're going to do a presser, right? We're going to put this video out, and then we're going to put some shrimps on the barbie, and then we're going to have a couple of pints. And he's like, okay, Dave, I'll be down. Comes down there, walks in the office, and standing there, he's like this. And you got Higgins like, oh, right, this is war, 65-35, that's the final offer. And then Parker's sort of looking at him, just sweating. And then they put that video out, and it was like, what is that?
How would you compare what they did to some of the, obviously, the wacky moments in promotion that you've had?
Yeah, but at least mine was sort of semi-classy. At least mine was broadcast live with like a national broadcast.
Like the check for Quig.
Yeah, but sometimes when you're not the A side, you have to make some noise. You have to do something a little bit quirky. That's why I'm saying I don't mind what Higgins is doing, but some of it looks so bad that it's like we did ours live on Sky. Right, with the check, 1.5 million quid. Frampton, do you want it or not? He's the best in the world. Like, it was cheesy, but at least it was like half classy with some clout. This was like I said, in a broom cupboard, and they've just like opened it up and got some geezer like filming it on a camera with 3 of them standing there. I don't know, but but it's getting, like I say, like AJ. I spoke to AJ this morning, and he's going, what are those lot all about? What? He said, because he said, someone said, what is it, 20 grand footage of me getting dropped or something like that?
Oh yes, yeah. If they can, someone can find any footage of Joseph Parker, being dropped.
Joseph Parker?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was AJ.
No, I think it's,
I'm
right, no? It's Joseph Parker. No, I'm pretty sure it's Joseph Parker being dropped 20 grand. He said 10 grand, then Joseph Parker said, I'll match it, 20 grand. So if anyone's got any out there.
No, but look, we want, the fights, we want a unification fight. So we're talking to Wilder's team, that's ongoing. That's a lot more private than the mad thing about the Higgins stuff is that you have a conversation with him and like a couple of hours later, the whole conversation is on a website. So I try and sort of understand if they do want this fight, or whether they're just using it for some profile. They're definitely getting a lot of profile out of Joshua's name, which is smart. But I want to make the fight because I want David Higgins over here. I think it'll be hilarious. I mean, I'd love to do some press conferences with David Higgins. But, like I said, we want a unification. We can do Wilder next. My dad actually met with Shelley Finkel in New York yesterday. Those talks are ongoing. We'd love to fight Joseph Parker. There's a deal there to be done with Joseph Parker, which makes him a lot of money. But more importantly, if all the stuff that he is saying is true, he should take the fight for this kind of deal, because the win, gives him a massive 8-digit payday for the next one. And if they really think they knock out Anthony Joshua, they should take the fight. But you always have to look at what a fighter is bringing to the pot. And outside of New Zealand TV, which really isn't a lot of money, what he is bringing is a belt. And we have to respect that. And we have to pay him for that. But outside of that, his last couple of performances haven't exactly lit up the world of boxing. But I do feel like him and Joshua is a very, very good fight, and it's a unification fight. and it's a chance for us to draw nearer to being the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And they know that, and that's why they're asking for what they're asking for, which is not the right number.
65-35, which is obviously the figure that's, or the split.
Well, it was 60-40, and it was 60-40 and not a cent less. Now it's 65-35 and not a cent less.
How far is that away from what you want?
Not a million miles away, but it ain't happening at 65-35. But again, I have not spoke publicly about any of the negotiations, the offers, my thoughts, because I don't know. Maybe it is because we're the ace. Maybe we act differently. You know, maybe if I was Higgins, I would be sprouting my mouth off about what's been offered, what we'd take. But I don't feel like we need to. There is an opportunity here for Joseph Parker to make a huge amount of money, and also, if he wins, be the hottest thing in the heavyweight division. So we feel like we're being very fair. We feel like we're giving him a great opportunity as well, and we appreciate and respect he's a belt holder as well. But if he really wants this fight, he will take the fight. If not, he will yap, and Higgins will yap, and then they'll fight Lucas Brown for $1 million. If that. So, what it comes down to is how much ambition you've got and how much you really believe it. Because if you believe you're going to knock out Anthony Joshua, like you keep saying, he's got a glass chin, he's this, he's that, take the fight, mate. For a load of millions, and probably double your money in the next fight if you win. But, as AJ always does, he'll go about his work and he will deal with Joseph Parker if he steps up to the plate and takes the fight for the sprint.
Is it 75-25 you want to give him?
No, I think that's probably undervaluing Joseph Parker. We have to give, perhaps in terms of like, you have to look at it as, I was keep this as simple as possible. How much more does Joseph Parker, forget the belt a second, Joseph Parker, in terms of commercial revenue to the fight, how much more does Joseph Parker bring than Carlos Takam? Right? The answer is some more pay-per-view buys in the UK, 100%. It's a unification fight. Gate will be the same. International TV, maybe a little bit more. He brings New Zealand TV. So if they want, you could do, we'll give you the 65-35, but you keep your home territory and we keep our home territory. So you keep New Zealand TV, we keep UK TV. Because Joshua's driving the gate. Joshua's driving the UK pay-per-view, not Joseph Parker. But because he has a belt, he is entitled to ask for a bigger chunk, because they're not going to just hand over the belt. They're not just going to, if they're going to gamble, they've got to gamble for the money of the purse, and they've got to gamble for what this win will give Joseph Parker, which is, it will change his life. He will be the #1 heavyweight in the world. He'll be the biggest thing in world heavyweight boxing if he beats Anthony Joshua. That's the carrot. So, I would like to make the fight. We're close.
Joshua will fight next in March or April.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me a list of, we're assuming this is not going to be Deontay Wilder for them.
If the deal was right, it would be. But I can't see us agreeing on a deal for the next one, to be honest.
So more likely, Parker.
Yeah.
What other names are actually in there?
Well, you've got a situation with WBA who could order a mandatory. You've got potentially a fight in the States as well. Maybe he fights Dylan Whyte. I don't know. I mean, we got a look at all the contenders. But AJ has asked me to try and deliver him the belts in 2018. So that is Wilder and Parker, and that is what we hope to achieve in the next fight. And the next fight after that should be the other one that we didn't get. And then after that, maybe Tyson Fury's back in the mix. But what a year that would be. Parker, Wilder, Fury. You know.
Fury obviously put out that video offering himself to fight Tony Bellew on May the 5th.
Yeah, I mean, Bellew quite fancies that fight because you think he can beat him. But, you know, he's a big old lump, Tyson Fury. And like we always keep saying, where are we with it? You know, where are we with the UCAD ruling? Where are we with the British Boxing Board of Control suspension on his licence? You know, I hope that Tyson gets back in the ring ASAP. Great to see him in the gym. We're hoping that the UCAD hearing is apparently in December. Hopefully that gets cleared. Hopefully he gets his licence. But we're hoping, rather than knowing. So when that starts to look realistic, that fight, that's a fight that we should get very excited about. And, you know, can Bellew fight Fury? It'd be nuts if he did. But he's nuts. But, you know, more importantly, I don't think you can necessarily focus your next fight or your career right now on Tyson Fury till we get some clarification.
Are the talks of Dylan Whyte and Deontay Wilder?
We made it clear to Wilder's team that that's a fight that we'd like to make in February, and we don't mind linking that to the Joshua fight, but that's easier said than done because we can't agree terms right now in terms of what everyone thinks the split should be for that fight. So if they don't want to fight Whyte independently, that fight's looking unlikely. The fight we want for Dillian is Lucas Brown on February the 3rd. And we've made...
Aside from Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, I know Wilder would be our first choice. But we like the Lucas Brown fight. We've made them a great offer, which I think Ricky's happy with. We've made our max offer, then we increased it, then we gave them a few other sweeteners on top. Ricky, I believe, is happy with that. But Lucas is waiting for Joseph Parker. Yeah. I don't think Joseph Parker will fight Lucas Brown, but he will wait until he knows he definitely won't fight him before he decides to fight him.
Which is understandable.
It is, but you got, you know, at some point you got to pull the trigger, and that point I think is coming up for our February the 3rd fight. I would like to do a press conference, not next week, but probably the week after. So we got to get an opponent for Dillian Whyte. Dillian, you look at Dillian now, number 1 in the WBC, number 4 in the IBF, about to get a final eliminator, number 6 in the WBA, top 10 in the WBO. But sometimes when you get to those positions, that's when it becomes the most frustrating period because you feel like you're in a shot for a world title and you're waiting for the floodgates to open.
To your understanding, what is the situation with Luis Ortiz? So the WBC haven't suspended him, is that right?
I saw a tweet from Maurizio the other night saying they haven't decided what they're going to do. Or he's not banned at the moment, but they haven't decided the protocol around what happened. The WBA, I think, is quite simple. He's banned for 12 months. But I don't know. I expect Wilder may fight Ortiz next. And I would be happy with that because that's a big fight. That's a good fight. You know, I've got my opinions around the failed test and how that should be handled, but it's really none of my business. But Wilder Ortiz, you know, despite everything that's happened, is still a very good fight. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that one next.
Right. Sticking with Anthony Joshua. Mm-hmm. One of the most bizarre things, obviously, in the last couple of weeks.
Outside of the UK press conference?
Yeah, outside of that. These alleged Instagram exchanges with Eddie Chambers.
And others, actually.
And others, but obviously the one with Eddie Chambers is the one that has been sort of put on social media and by Eddie Chambers as well. Literally, what to make of it? What can you tell us about that?
The team of comment, they're all out in Dubai at the moment. Anthony, you know, all of AJ boxing, and he's got a major problem with his social media accounts. If you actually look online, there's plenty of other bits and pieces floating around, allegedly from Anthony Joshua, to other people as well. So their team are looking into it, AJ's team. He has some major problems with his accounts, and you know, no disrespect to Eddie Chambers, but he isn't really on the radar. And there's been other people that have received messages, by the way, who you won't know about, because as far as I'm concerned, if you get a direct message from another man and not necessarily threatening you, but man on man, or you think it's from that person, why would you put it out publicly? These other people that have received alleged messages from AJ have chose not to put it out, and that's been dealt with. But this guy, obviously, he's thinking Christmas has come early, isn't he? Oh my God, you know, and then gets it all out there. So you will hear from AJ soon. When he's back from Dubai, you will hear from him. But as you know, people say, oh, you kept it quiet, you haven't said anything. His team's made a statement about it to the press, and he has got a problem with his account and a number of things that have happened, some of which are quite funny, and some aren't. But you know, this was one that's been a pain in the arse.
Obviously, the highlighting point within that thing was the context within the DMs, and it seems weird, like you said, that it would be Eddie Chambers.
No, but there wasn't, like I said, it wasn't just Eddie. Like, people think it was a random message to Eddie Chambers. There's been loads of other people that have received messages. So like I said, some of which are funny and some have played out in different ways. But, you know, he was going to come out and do a video about it, and it's like, once you start trying to explain what's happened, it's a complete mess. So his team made a statement about it, and they're dealing with it and trying to, you know, like I said, if you look deeply enough, there's a few other messages floating around that are supposedly from Anthony Joshua in other situations that, again, are, I shouldn't say amusing, but someone's at it. And it's how his life's changed. You know, he can't live a normal life anymore. And, you know, he ain't, you know, in other situations, he won't be perfect. It's like when he put the tweets out about Fury and Parker, you know, get fit, you fat fuck. And people were like, oh my God. It's like, people said that, has someone hacked his account? No, he just had enough of Fury. He's not, this guy is not a perfect guy. He's not, you know, he's a fighter. He's got that in him. It's like when you piped up on social media, he had to put you back in your box, didn't he?
I had to check that was him.
He hacked again.
No, but I had to go for my brain. But what people don't know is after, about 10 minutes after, he texts me. Like, whatever, I'll show you the text. But and then I knew he had done that, and he had done the others. Because when it was literally like one, not my one, but the Fury one, and then, because they got worse. It was Parker was like moderate. Yeah. Then the Wilder one was a little bit more. Then the Fury one was like that. So yeah.
Yeah, but he's under a lot of pressure. I actually, you know, when we do the post-fight interviews after the fight, and they said, you know, do you feel the pressure? No. I disagree. I think I don't even know whether he feels the pressure, but I believe it's there. He's massive, and he's walking out in front of 70, 80,000 people who are expecting him to be perfect every time, who are expecting him to knock people out in 2 or 3 rounds. And there is masses of pressure on this guy. You know, he's the biggest star in British sport, and he's still learning in his sport. And you know, like I said, he's got a long way to go. But he's trying to give the public the fights that they want. You know, he wants Wilder. He wants Parker. He's not saying to me, Ed, give me a little easy warm-up, please. Give me another easy fight. He don't want easy fights, and he's proved that time and time again, and that's why he deserves the respect.
Did you take anything from the interview that I did with him a couple of weeks ago? Because it seemed that a different type of interview was.
These people who are calling his name, got to understand that Anthony, whilst he is a great role model, whilst he says all the right things, whilst you got to understand where he's come from, you got to understand he's not like, he ain't a public school kid. Do you know what I mean? He's not someone that's not going to take the bait. He's not someone that's not going to react and lash out, because he's a fighter. And he has got that side in him that can switch and can be the bad man. And when you've got people goading you, Fury, Parker, Wilder, I know what he wants to do to those people in the ring. You understand me? He wants to lay a world of pain on all three of those boys. And trust me, he will do it. And he wants to do it bad. Whether he tells you or not, yeah, sometimes you'll get it out of him. But I know what he's thinking. He can't wait to fight Tyson Fury. He cannot wait to fight Deontay Wilder. And he cannot wait to fight Joseph Parker. So that is the fighter in Anthony Joshua. And when you prod him and prod him and prod him, you're going to get another side, and you'll see it in those press conferences. That'll be the difference for the first time. When David Higgins pipes up and gets in Anthony Joshua's face, security be on a standby. And if Parker pipes up, he'll get the same thing. And the same with Fury, and the same with Wilder. You know, this boy's got both sides. And that's why he's such an exceptional talent. That is why, when he could hardly stand up against Klitschko, he chose to stand up. He chose to fight him. When he got hit by a right hand from the gods that would have perplexed virtually every heavyweight in world boxing, that's why he chose to get up. When he went out for the 11th round and he was puffing and he was blowing, he was knackered, and he decided now is the time, that's the side of Anthony Joshua that makes him a great fighter. And you're not a great fighter if you're a soft case that let people take liberties with you in and out of the ring. It's not in your nature, it's not in your makeup, and it isn't in Anthony Joshua's. So don't be mistaken all the time, these fighters, by, oh, I'm humble, or I don't say too much. Deep down, the bad man comes out, and the bad man will come out on those boys. And you will see it in 2018, and I cannot wait. I want Josh to be in those fights where you see that side. He has to keep his discipline, because it come out of him in the Dillon fight. And he completely lost his rag. But he's more mature now. But he can use the competition as focus rather than an erratic performance. You will see a brutal performance against those. Got a boner, ain't you?
You saw Kell Brook yesterday?
I did, yeah, it's nice.
I've seen him on Monday, yeah.
Did you interview him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, first thing, 154, 147.
Yeah, 154, definitely. I mean,
because he was saying he didn't
still, know,
but
no, Kell's one of those fighters needs direction all the time, you know. And I don't know if you felt this as well, but the Spence loss hurt him bad, and I think it still hurts him, and I don't think he's fully over it yet. But we had a really good talk, and the thing is Kell Brook needs boxing in his life. Some people find boxing and it can save their life, and it can give them discipline and that regimental lifestyle that people talk about. AJ talks about it. And that's what Kell Brook needs in his life now. You know, he's out there, he's resting, he's made a lot of money, you know, but the void in his life is the training and the fighting. And that's what he needs to get back to. He's back in camp now. I explained to him yesterday, you are one of the biggest stars in world boxing. You're one of the biggest stars in British boxing. I mean, in terms of household names, or the biggest names in British boxing, give me your top 5. You ain't got to worry about upsetting people, just like off the top of your head.
what, as in just pure
Like,
name?
yeah, like names, draws. Like, you know, we see it on our social media numbers. You know, so AJ?
Joshua, Fury, Haye.
I say then you got people like Bellew,
yes.
Hearn,
Brook.
Frampton, maybe. I mean, so what I'm getting at, I mean, then you've got loads of other boys as well. But what I'm saying is, in terms of social media numbers, in terms of pay-per-views, Kel, you are a top name, and you are an unbelievable fighter. And the message to Kell Brook yesterday was, don't walk away without achieving your goals and defining your legacy. Don't be the guy who looks back and says, lost Gennady Golovkin, lost Errol Spence. Because you've got world titles in you, you've got wins in you, you've got great nights in you. Don't be the guy that leaves the sport thinking, didn't do that, should have done that. That's when it's hard to leave a sport. That's when it's hard to live that life with regret, you know? We talk about Darren Barker, we talk about Carl Froch, we talk about guys who can look back and go, wow, great career, look at that night, yes. I said, don't be the guy who goes the other way, who sits back and goes, if I had a bit more discipline, or if I just would have done that, you know, because Kell Brook was the guy everyone said, you can go on and do this and do that. He can still do that, but he can't do it at 147 pounds. You know, and the Errol Spence fight, the thing that pisses me off about the Errol Spence fight is he took that fight because he wanted to prove to people that he was up for fighting the best. He just done it against Gennady Golovkin. Do you know what I mean? But there, he didn't want to be the guy that ducked Errol Spence. Yeah? I've got my belt. I'm defending it with honour. So he did it, but then he breaks his eye socket, an injury that he's been told 6 months before can make you go blind if you keep taking shots on it and blows on it, and then apparently he's a coward. You know what I mean? This kid is far from a coward, trust me. And the tough people saying, oh, you know, you quit, you did this, you did that. This guy's got plenty of heart, trust me. He stepped up to the plate, and he will step up to the plate again. He will return end of Feb, early March, in Sheffield, at 154 pounds, and Kell Brook will win another world title in the light middleweight division. I truly believe.
Just going back to those names we were reading.
Or he could fight the geezer in the jungle.
We'll talk about it in a second. Talking about the names, he actually missed out the biggest name on our channel. The biggest name. The man that holds the...
Oh, the Rhino. The Rhino. The Rhino's going well. The Rhino's got the podcast going now.
I know.
Is that him? Is that his podcast?
I think so. Yeah. What happened with that? Because he was obviously talked about being featured on the undercard.
He's not fit to box in December.
Right.
He's still got a bad back, so I want him to box on the Kell Brook card. The problem is now with Lemroy Thomas is he's got a mandatory which he may have to face, so we may be looking at another fight. Like Sam Sexton, David Price against Dave Allen.
Price is fighting next week
in Brentwood.
MTK IFL show.
Oh yeah, co-promoted by IFL.
Yeah, so he's on that bill. Yeah. Your first show back of the new year will be, you've said, the 3rd.
Yes, correct. We may go earlier. We may go into Jan now because we've got a bit of catching up to do, but probably the 3rd. 02.
Have you been watching Amir Khan in the jungle?
I watched Amir Khan in the jungle, not last night, but the one before.
You should have watched last night's one.
No, because he pulled it round, didn't he? Yeah. I know Amir Khan gets a lot of stick, you know, regarding everything he does, but I think this is a smart move. And look, I know we've never had a great relationship, but when I've been around Amir, and I'm probably the same with you, I've never not liked him. Like, I've never spoke to him before. Absolutely. You're a tit, or I can't stand you. I've always left the conversation thinking, he's all right, Amir Khan, he's a nice geezer. But his PR's been poor, and he's made mistakes on social media, and sometimes he spoke before he thought. But I think something like this, people can get to see the side of Amir Khan and actually see he's all right, you know. And again, despite losing to Canelo and getting beaten in other fights, this is a guy who still won an Olympic medal at 17, went out, was in some huge fights early on, won world titles. boxed some of the biggest names out there in very good fights. So you have to give him the respect, and I'm pleased that he's done it. And I think, in terms of his boxing career, we'll see what that brings. But I was out last night, and I was driving back, and I got a tweet. No, not a tweet. So I saw a tweet, but basically it said something like, "Fair play, Amir Khan." Going in there and doing that, and then a few others come through like, "Nice one, Amir." And I was quite pleased for him because, like I said, he's made some mistakes, but he's been through some shit as well. So to see him get a little bit of adulation in there, and I have to say, the thing with the snake was hilarious. And I spoke to Kel about it, who says Kel is petrified of snakes. He said he would have been exactly the same. So
how would you have been?
What, with a snake?
In that trial, the first one he did. Yesterday's one I thought was more difficult.
What did he have to do in that one?
He was in a long tank and the water filled, so he started at the bottom.
Right, okay.
So not boxes, the same thing with his hand in.
Yeah, and that bring the water down?
No, the water was just rising.
Yeah, but when he done it... Right, okay, so he's got to get them all to get out.
And then he got to the number 7, it was out of 8, he dropped the key and he had to go all
in
the
way
water? Back down, all the way through all the little crocodiles and things. And yeah, so how would you have done? Because I don't know really how you are with things like that.
I'm okay. Yeah, I would do it. I wouldn't really have a major problem with it. No. Do you know what I'd be thinking? I would be thinking, how bad can it be for them to let you do this?
They're not going to obviously let you die.
Exactly. So, no, but not even die. Like, they're not going to let you put your hand in with a snake that's going to bite you and poison you and kill you, are they?
No.
So, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? And, to be honest with you, even if I was shitting myself, if it was on live TV, you'd swallow it and do it, wouldn't you? But that geezer got thrown out, didn't he? What happened with that one? I know the guy, because you were comparing yourself to him. Oh, yeah. This guy's
No.
This guy's a YouTube sensation. Hello, 100 million views. KUGAN, CASSIUS and James Elder, 300 million views.
325. No, that was just a bit of a banter to it.
Oh, was it?
Morons
you
like
got 300 retweets.
What,
did you say morons like me? Do you want me to put some fucking heavy D on your ass?
No, but it wasn't meant to be literally. I was just comparing it. I looked at his YouTube channel, it had 100 million views. I know it's different, but...
Has he been slung out?
Yeah, over tweets that he... sent or...
Years
let's
ago.
Just say allegedly sent, because I don't know he sent them tweets, is what they're saying, come off his Twitter account.
But ages ago, wasn't it?
It's about 5 years ago.
Wow.
Have you not been approached about, not I'm a celeb, but Big Brother...
I think, after that, I think Froch Groves, my old man got a call asking if I would like to go on I'm a Celeb.
You?
Yeah. Don't sound so surprised, mate.
No, your profile's bigger than Jack Maynard's.
Yeah, but...
This is not something really... No. Keep it real.
There may not be any amount of money.
Really?
No.
Yeah. Oh, hold on one second. We saw. Well, I want to say we saw.
Can I just tell the viewers what happened there? It's quite funny. So KUGAN stopped filming to put a new memory card in, and then he's gone, "Oh, that's what I was meant to ask you." So I don't think it's filming, and he's gone to me, "Would you have any interest in putting Zalana Teti in with Ryan Burnett?" And I went to him, "Yeah, mate, film it and ask me." He went, "No, I'm filming it." Anyway, you had to be there, but now we're back on that. The answer is yes, we would have interest in that fight. It is a very tough fight. I mean, very tough fight. I believe Ryan Burnett is the best in the division, but I do believe Zalana Teti is very, very good. The plan for Ryan, he's coming back from a little bit of injury at the moment, is to get out in February or March and then be in a unification in the summer. So if that's Teti or Yamanaka, there's not a lot of other things for Ryan to do, is there? He's won the title, he's unified the division, we're going to have a defence, we may even look to do that in America. And then he wants to try and win all the belts in the division. So we have to fight Tete at some point.
Frank Warren's talked obviously before about wanting that fight, but has a formal offer come for...
No, not. They did before. Do you remember when he was fighting Haskins?
Right.
they said we'd provide Teti for free. This was before. Was it before? Was it before Zakyanov? I can't remember. Anyway, but we made the Zakyanov fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it, Zakyanov. So we did that, got the unification. We haven't heard from him since.
If the deal was right, would you be opposed to Ryan fighting on BT against Tete?
No. I don't think Adam and Ryan. I think Adam and Ryan are very happy with the job we're doing, with the platform, with Sky. But obviously, listen, if the deal was right and we all sat down and said we want to take it, I think you know me long enough to know, and so do you, that I wouldn't stop a fighter from fighting on another network, another platform, if the deal was right. But I see Ryan Burnett as one of our most important fighters. Matchroom, Sky, he's 25 years old, he's unified the division. So, of course, in an ideal world, we'd like to keep him on our platform. But I would never stop a fighter taking a deal that was too good to turn down on another one.
Did you watch Frampton?
Yes.
What did you make?
I think Carl's been through a lot, and I think he's going through a lot as well. There's stuff I would imagine happening behind the scenes, legals, all sorts. It's very difficult, and we saw it with Ricky Burns as well. It's hard to keep yourself and your mind focused on the performance. It was a good fight, which, what was he, 200 to 1 on? Or something like that to win the fight. And then with the knockdown, which was a slip, but very accurate from Frampton in what he said, he slipped, but he got hit, so you have to call it a knockdown. But then I start thinking, bloody hell, if Garcia wins these last 2 rounds, he wins the fight. I thought Frampton won by 2 rounds. It was a good fight. It's a below par performance from Carl, but he's got a new trainer, but he's going through a legal dispute, but his head must be all over the hockey. So all in all, I thought it was a good performance. I thought Jamie Conlon was incredibly brave. That boy's got balls of steel, but was up against an excellent fighter in Jerwin Karjas, and that's a guy we want for Yafai as well. Very tough fight for Yafai, but again, so you find, don't you, that there's levels. A bit like when Charlie Edwards boxed Casimiro, that was a bit like Conlon against Karjas, where you think they can do it, you think they can step up to the level, and they're not quite ready for that level. You realise there's a whole new world out there. There's like fringe world class, and then there's like elite, and that's a bit like when Jacobs boxed
Luis Arias?
Arias, yeah. You just realise there's this elite level that is a whole new level. So yeah, I thought it was a really good fight. It wasn't supposed to be a good fight, but Carl was, wasn't himself, but again, he's got a lot on his plate, so I think you can excuse an average performance from Frampton. Sometimes it's hard to get yourself up for those fights in a 10-rounder that everyone's telling you that you're going to win easy and not lose a round. Did you get a selfie with Canelo?
No. Everyone else did.
Do you know what, mate?
Everyone
You were
else did.
so muggy when you went, when Canelo spotted KUGAN. And you're like filming. Basically, he's walking there, like if this was your camera and I'm Canelo, you're like this, right? And you're like, and he goes like this.
His arrival.
So he goes like this, all right? And you're like, obviously he spotted me.
No, that's not what he done. I was filming his arrival. That was a filming of a filming. A bit like what happened last night. It was a filming of a filming. He was walking, there's loads of people there, and he went, oh, hello. That's what actually happened.
Was this Borat or Canelo? No. So Canelo walked down and he went, hello.
Pretty much.
Hello, KUGAN. Nice to see you.
What was I going to say? Yeah, Belfast night. Do you know what? They're great nights. Do you
Great.
think we'll ever see Frampton Burnett on the same bill?
Not unless they're fighting each other. Which
That'd be great. What
Yeah,
a night
okay.
in Belfast that'd be.
Listen,
Them two on the same
at the end
bill.
of the day, could Carl make Super Bantam again? Ryan would move up to Super Bantam for that fight, maybe even a little bit heavier. What a fight that would be. But Carl Frampton has got a massive fan base, mainly built by myself. and Barry Wigan, and he's lucky because they're great fans. I mean, Ryan Burnett's got a great fan base at his building. It's not at Carl Frampton's level, but they're great fans. Great fans.
What was I watching the other day? I watched another video of Richard Schaefer.
Oh,
like,
yeah, he's having
having
another pop.
another pop at you, yeah.
I mean, this guy, I don't know. What did he say? I'm a rookie in negotiations. Come on, don't be like that. When was the last time you made a big fight? I cannot remember, it was so long ago. So, listen, if I'm a rookie after 6 years and I'm spanking his ass all over the gaff, imagine what's going to be happening in 10 years' time. So, listen, I don't know, these guys seem to just have pops.
What's happening with the Bellew at the moment then? Anymore?
No, me and Lou, right? I mean, I spoke to Lou before I was in America, and my relationship with Lou's a little bit different to my relationship with Schaefer. I don't know Schaefer. I can't really say I dislike him. He's got the worst dress sense I've ever seen. That video I saw, he had some John Wayne jacket on. It was like camel leather with a polo on. I mean, it was shocking. But I genuinely, I do have something in my heart for Lou DiBella because I've known him for so long. And he goes, like, when he loses it.
He's so passionate.
He is. But I like that. But I do like that. Like, anyone that's got passion for anything, I don't mind. Schaefer, I don't dislike. But if he keeps piping up, then I'll end him on social media. Just putting it out there, a dicky boy. But, you know me, I'm up for like having a beer with everybody. But don't keep on continuously coating me off. Otherwise, we'll be popping your popcorn everywhere.
Someone else was asking me the other day.
He's just trying to get something else out of me. How long have we been doing this?
Absolutely not. No, we're going to wrap it up now.
It's 5:15.
Have you got anything else you'd like to add? Any other news? Any other fights you're trying to make?
Loads of fights. Now's all about planning for the new season. So, February the 3rd at the O2. Got like Newcastle, Liverpool to schedule there. We got Kell, could go March 3rd.
No, Swifty fighting.
Swifty, December 9th.
Against Vargas.
Big fight against Vargas.
Yeah.
Good card that is. That'll be on Sky. Tevin Farmer for the world title. Salido against Roman, which is a really good fight. Swifty against Vargas. It's a really good £130 night. Seeing Crawler next week, talk about his next move. Seeing Quigg next week, talking about his next move. Seeing Campbell soon, possibly a fight with Linares.
He's working on BT the other day.
Who's Scott?
Oh,
no, apparently he's off. I spoke to him last night. He's off, you know.
Well, but that's when the rumour mill starts, obviously.
Cool.
It's good that you let your fighters go and work on that.
Mate, Crawler does ITV, Quigg does it.
Joking.
Yeah, alright. What else? Loads, sorry.
That's it.
Played the next American Day. Just excited about 2018. Britain, America, other markets as well we're looking at, so be good.
Alright. Well, thank you very much for 1 hour of your time today.
No problem, old boy.
It's a good thing I don't get charged to interview you, like by the minute.
Well,
imagine it was like a tenner a minute.
It's probably value, to be fair.
Probably. Or you paid me to interview you.
Well, I do. Well, I used to, when I was giving you 500 quid a week. But I still pay all your exes for all their events, which I think should stop, to be honest with you.
Why?
Because you're getting paid a fortune now. Sponsors.
You're not getting paid a fortune.
Mate, don't patronise me. You are making
Just
a
ask me a
nice
question.
few quid.
Just ask me a question. Do I drive your car?
Well, it's my car.
Do I drive your car?
I don't know, you've got a convertible Benz. That's
Do I
wrapped,
drive your car?
That's wrapped.
Alright. Do I drive
You've
your
got to
car?
have a rich daddy. That is the difference. If I didn't have my rich daddy, where would I be?
Oh, that.
Just be like fucking in here or something. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, you are now making a lot of money. So, do you think it's fair that I should continuously pay your flights, your hotels, your travel? You know, am I getting the value?
Well, ask yourself. If you don't think you are, I'll tell you. If you don't think you're getting value from IFL, then just stop doing it.
Okay.
That's, yeah, plain and
Can I
simple.
end this now? I made you, bitch.
What? There's no, listen, I know like people go, yeah, you run over the camera. There's no other person that sit here with you for an hour. But I'm glad because you kind of, it's a two-way street.
Mate, when I do an interview with you, I get the phone calls. Sky, Daily Mail, GQ, just some of my partners. Oh, you know, you've done a sit down with KUGAN for an hour, but you wouldn't come in. And you, as I always say, you get where water can't. Like you say, no one else is going to sit in here. I've been uptown all day in meetings, come back. All I want to do is sit down with the team, start planning 2018. You come in with your silly hat and your Stone Island jumper, jacket, and think you have the right to abuse my time.
Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and
Happy Christmas.
we'll see you soon.
We should do a Q&A before Christmas. All right then, fuck you.
No, there's a reason why. Yeah, actually, maybe the week that you were meant to have the pay-per-view show on. That week. Maybe. After Taylor. All right, we'll discuss.
Cheers.